My sister and I were the mischievous girls in our neighborhood. We were bullies in school, disrespectful to our foster mother, and we stole candy from Mr. Brown's shop. I confess all the bad things we did now because I don't think our lives will ever go back to the way they were. The foster home was crowded and it seemed the foster mom didn't know what to do with all the kids. Still, I'd give anything to go back to that place. My sister and I loved to play ding-dong ditch. We'd be in the bushes laughing as we watched people open their door expecting to see someone on the doorstep. Some people knew it was us and they'd cuss at us. We thought that was funny too. Everyone in the neighborhood was getting used to our antics. Everyone but the woman who lived in the biggest house on our block. It was a mansion covered with vines. There were scary monster statues in her front yard of tall weeds. No kids or adults went to the house. People said a witch lived in it. At first, I didn't believe in witches. Despite my sister telling me not to go near the woman's door, she followed me through the gate that enclosed the mansion. She stood behind the statue as I boldly walked up to the door. I paused before knocking on it. I got in my running stance. I reached out to knock on the door and pull my hand back, but my knuckles got stuck on the door. I was at the door for so long, my sister came to see what wrong. I showed her I couldn't move my arm. She wrapped her hands around my waist and pulled me away from the door. We fell back on our butts and the door opened wide and the smell of baked cookies greeted us before the woman standing at the door could say a word. She was holding a platter of cookies. Her smile was so warm to me. She was wearing jeans and t-shirt. Her gray curly hair draped down to her back. She didn't look like a witch to me. She laughed at us and asked if we were okay. Instead of running away, we told her we were alright. She offered us chocolate chip cookies. We should have went home, but we loved chocolate chip cookies. We walked into the house as if we were in a trance. At the time, not even paying attention to how the door closed behind us on its own. She led us to the kitchen. It was white and pink and reminded me of a dollhouse. I noticed the table was set with platters upon platters of cookies and 2 cups of milk. At the time, I also didn't pay attention to how prepared she was for us. She gave us lots of cookies and kept saying how beautiful we were and how she'd do anything to look like us. I don't know about my sister, but no one ever told me I was pretty. She kept calling us dolls, which made me blush. Then, she offered us both candy and led us to her pantry with endless shelves holding jars of candy. I felt my eyes growing in my head. She told my sister and me to go in and pick whatever we wanted from the jars. We stepped into the room, and she closed the door behind us. We tried desperately to get out of the dark room. We banged and kicked and screamed until we were exhausted. We pleaded with her to let us go home and we promised to never set foot on her property again. We eventually fell asleep. I don't know how long, but I woke up on this shelf in a silly dress with my sister beside me in a dress like mine. Ever so often the woman would come in and give us a tight hug. She looked younger each time she did it. It was true she was a witch, and she turned us into dolls so she could drain us of our youth. I lost track of time here. I wondered if the people at the home were looking for us. My word of advice, if you come across someone who stays to themselves and minds their own business, just leave them alone because things won't end good for you.